Can I just thank you, everybody. So I've had an exciting day today. I've had an exciting day. Hello? Everybody hear me? That's a good idea. I'm sorted, man. So when you have your personal dress, which is good. Thank you. Right, first item this is just before we start the meeting. There is a site meeting tomorrow morning about the Crofts application on Sheffield Road, and it's at 9:25 tomorrow morning. The planning board are visiting. The parish council has objected to this, and a site visit's been arranged for the members of the planning board and officers to come out and have a look. They do a bus tour if they've got one or two places to go. So it's 9:25 tomorrow morning. If anybody wants to turn up and put the 4 pens in, I shall be there, and a few of the residents from the area will be there. But it's worthwhile if anybody can turn up and just put their point of view across. I know everybody that objected has been contacted, I hope, by the planners, just inform them of the meeting. So, as I say, I know a lot of people are working and can't get, but if anybody does want to turn up and have their views on it, the thing you're looking at mainly is the access on and off Sheffield Road. That's which you might think is it.
Chair, any other time, because it does imply on the letter that they might come 2 or 3 times at different times during the day.
No, it is definitely 9:25.
What does that say about other people coming later then? If you read the thing.
Planning and Aviation Board are visiting the site on Thursday, 25th of June 2015 at 9:25. As several inspections have been made during the day in question, differently you give a precise time about you are invited to be present during it, but it will be 9:25 because I think that's the only site visit tomorrow. So straight after that, I presume that yeah, it's different sites, but they will be going back to the town hall probably directly after that. So I'll be going back to speak at the planning board. But say if any other councillors or anybody wants to turn up, we're willing to do so. We've also had a note this week. I think everybody's probably seen it's been circulated about an application for a Tesco at Cutler Public House. You've not seen that? It's not on the agenda tonight because we've not got any planning it matters on, so we can't legally put it on. But it will be on the July the 8th meeting. If in the meantime any councillors or members of the public want to have their say, objections, support for it, then they can email the Borough Council and make their views known. Yeah, sorry, it is on the planning list, and I think Councillor told it circulated. Yeah, it's come through this afternoon. It is on the planning list, but because we didn't get in time for the 15th of June meeting, we've not been able to discuss it. So I'm going to email the planning department asking if we can have a few days grace after the 8th so we can make a decision and then send in whatever we decide to do. So I'll email the planners tomorrow. I think actually the planner was dealing with is on holiday till after that date anyway, so I'll email the planning manager and ask for an extension of time.
Can you say that on the Borough Council website?
So hang on a minute, sorry.
This is going to happen again.
Yeah.
That we're going to have a decision made before we've had a chance to have our say. Which is, it's happened many times before.
Well, as I say, I'm going to email them. They've also been accommodating in the past round about problems getting matching applications up to agendas. And it usually happens in August when we don't have any meetings. You usually find strange applications going when they think there's no chance of any objections.
It usually happens, Chair, when they don't want objections.
Well, they've got some already. There is a petition being circulated, I think, probably both North and South Anston people, if they want to object to it. So, as I say, individual councils in the meantime want to have their say before the meeting, then you can free to it. Stuart first, and then
Is the plan application for the whole pub, or just for part?
No, it's for an additional, it's for an extension of the silent pub. It's open from 6 in the morning till 11 at night. And there's an ATM machine included in it, so that'll get 24-hour use.
They had a plan application for an extension for a dining area, didn't they?
That was a brewery, yeah.
Yeah.
This is why this is a new application, because it's totally separate.
Because they shut down those shops up there.
So yeah, so the Tesco will be built, it should be built on the left-hand side, as you could. But if you look at the planning list and click on that, it can give you all the details. Michael sent it out this afternoon, I think. So you can have a look and
I thought it was shut.
no. So from the point of view of Michael just pointed out, commercial competition is not a planning issue. It's got to be made on planning grounds, i.e. traffic, etc., etc. So it's just a question of putting your views in if you want to do that. But it will come to us on the 8th of July for a full discussion, and then we'll move it on from there. will get us that extension in time,
I
so we've
think
got
it's a
time to
Tesco Express,
Surely, Clara, I don't understand this because
which is big enough.
surely the effect on other properties and the way of life up there is important. It should be planning because if you've got 5 or 6 shops, you're going to take all the livelihood away just for the sake of a Tesco that are shutting shops all the way.
There's nothing to stop you putting those views forward at all. What they will make. But I mean, what hopefully will go, it will go to the planning board, where the board will hopefully come out again and have a look and make their own decision. But they may take a different view to the officers, and they may think that it is detrimental to the area and the other shops. That's entirely up to them. So they don't have to abide by the officers' recommendations. They can make their own views. So as I say, I've just notified people of that. Yeah, and that'll be something we'll ask for. Sorry, John.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like you said, there's all the full plans are on the website, even down to which parking spaces they have and everything else, so it's quite clear. It's within sort of it doesn't extend beyond the building.
No.
So planning side, to buildings, it's not going to be a problem. But
yeah, I think they've put the signage and everything in already, so I think they're anticipating it being no problem. But as I say, it's down to the residents of the village and ourselves to make it what we will. So I'm just flagging that to people if we want to have a look, and then in the meantime make any objections or whatever they want to do.
Which is all on those order requirements. Quite well presented.
Right, can we move on to the first item? Sorry about that, but it's important we just bring that to everybody's attention. We've got a co-option process again to go through tonight. Have we got 2? Yes, we can get to it. Right, we'll start item 1 then. To receive apologies for absence. There in the book, Councillor Vernon. I think he's probably the only one tonight's not in for. So that, is everybody do that one? Can we accept that? Indeed, I've got on that. Yeah, can we just have a show of hands to approve his apologies? Thank you. Item 2, to disclose members' DPI of personal interest in any item to be discussed. Anybody?
Is that 1010 me or is that somebody else?
I'm going to be honest. And may well be you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is you. So if you want to, you declared a personal problem.
Yeah.
You did write that original email, please.
I thought we had somebody else had as well.
There is another one before it, I think, regarding microphones.
Oh, no, 10
Yeah.
isn't.
Oh, right, 10 is not done.
It's 10 now.
10-9 you are, right.
10-9?
You're 10-9. Because it does lead on to about a quote for additional
right.
microphones.
Oh, okay.
But as long as you declare it, put it down as 10-9, that's okay. Anybody else?
10.
Sorry.
Number 4.
Microphone, please.
So, can we have it?
You wait till you do it.
Number 4.
Bingo.
Is that 10-4?
Number 4. To hear representation from other members and the other co-options. One of the candidates lives in the same road as I do.
Anybody else want to make
Sorry,
it?
what's the lawyer? Sorry.
No, sorry.
10.
Look at you.
10-3. An email I've written, but I've probably put into confidential session. And 14. 1 and 2, if you get there. That's other items that are going to be in confidential session. That's because they're to do with the green, and I have a friend who's on the green.
Any others? Miles?
10-1.
10-1.
Janice and I also know Mick Clive.
That's one of the candidates.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, what's one?
sorry, Miles, go on.
10-1.
10-1.
You've got to be
Is that
Which person?
Is it personal? Miles? Is it personal?
The minus.
Nothing personal, just
No.
saying it's personal. 3, to identify items which the present public may be excluded. Shall we take those as we...
Stuart wants to put 10-3.
Do you want 10-3 confidential to do it?
Yeah, please.
From the last meeting, we've got all of section 14.
All of 14. And... yeah, item 14, we had all of those were in confidential. Just the commercial and other issues. Okay, item 40, representation from candidates for co-option. We've got
Yes, we've got two, Mr. Whittle has withdrawn.
right. So we have 2 candidates tonight. We've got
So, the vote still can't withdraw.
yeah.
Both Mr. Smith and Mr. Davis have got supplied eligibility.
Right, so I understand from the clerk that both candidates have supplied the eligibility forms that we've asked for. Have we got the restrictions? We're doing an alphabetical order around it. So, can I ask, do we need a microphone from Mr. Coleman? Do you want to say your piece, Mr. Coleman, start off with? Are you okay with the,
Yeah, I just want
with the hearing and everything? Okay. Take your time, okay.
I'd just like to introduce myself. I won't keep you too long. My name is Mick Coleman, and I've lived in Anston and Dinnerton for the past 20 years. The past 5 years I've lived in North Anston, up on the Oval, very near Stuart and Chris.
And Janice.
Yeah. There's no prizes for guessing that I come from the northeast of England. I expect I sound like a Geordie, but I'm not. I'm actually Mackham.
Mac.
Originally come from Sunderland, but I have lived there since 1983. So I've arrived here via Swindon to Wiltshire. So I'm sort of doing a circular tour, if you like. I'm now retired after a 50-year career in engineering. The last 30 years I spent travelling around the UK and Europe, and earlier on throughout the world as well, as a service engineer. And the very nature of that career meant that it was very unfair and unpractical to participate in something like this that I'm applying for tonight, because I could never be sure whether I was going to be home, working away, or even if I was at home, I didn't know what time I would have arrived home. You know? So I would have found it totally unfair to join something like a parish council, because I would probably be absent more than I would be here. But I have, for a long time, wanted to give something back to the community, all of the communities which I've lived. But for the reasons I've stated, it hasn't been possible, really. But now I'm retired, it is possible. And I'd like to give something back to the community. And I hope that the council members will now give me the opportunity to do that. And that's all I can say, really.
No, that's fine, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Smith.
Me next. Darren Smith. Live in South Anston. I've lived in Dinnington and surrounding area for 50 years. And I'll go straight to the bullet points if I may. So basically I want to help serve the community. By becoming a local councillor, I should first and foremost represent the views of all residents and serve to the best of my ability. I hope that I can negotiate with the council for the best possible solution that benefits the people of the parish. Support solutions that add value to the long-term objectives of the parish and its residents. I also feel that I can help generate extra revenue streams with the assets that we already have available to the council. I know they're always looking to increase the funds, as they all are. And really, that's really it. And you know, I'd like to be considered to join the team.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Mr. Goldman?
No.
Sorry?
Can I ask Mr. Goldman a question?
Sorry, Mr.
Can I ask Mr. Goldman a question?
Uh,
What engineering was it in?
No, that's...
As well.
But it's just being nosy, basically.
No, it might be that you're a fellow traveller or what, I don't know.
You can't set it on.
Sorry. What sort of engineering was it that you were in?
I was an electromechanical service engineer. Well, for 30 years, 50 years.
Yeah, what industry do you service?
Oh, I worked at several industries. When I was first a service engineer, well, before I was a service engineer, I worked at factories, basically.
Yeah.
I worked in the Rolls-Royce airplane engine factory up in Sunderland.
Yeah.
And I worked on the maintenance in RC, the record factory.
Very good.
But then when I first started being a service engineer, I moved out to Swindon for the job. And it was for an American company. It was basically installing and servicing and looking after equipment that makes microchips.
I'm just finding out what special qualifications you've got that we can use.
Do you service boilers? That's it. You can look after John Rolls if you want.
Yeah.
If you've got a dry cleaning machine on,
Do members just want to retire for 5 minutes and we'll have a quick... Yeah, well, no, yeah, we're resolving to just exclude the public at this point in time for 5 minutes.
I prefer to stay as the...
Okay, that's fine. Talk about today and back there. Can I just have one at a time?
Yes,
Hang on a minute. No. I know you want to...
Can I just
Want
move
to get
things
away.
on and get things over quickly? So can I resolve that we go into confidential session for a quick discussion of the candidates?
Yeah, so we have to exclude the press and public at this moment in time then. Sorry. Member? Seconded? Seconded. All those in favour? Thank you. Right. Well, do remember to take this off now.
That's the other thing. Can't talk about it.
That was good.
Well, I've not sent the pit top thing yet because I wanted photos. Oh yeah, and it was chucking it down with them, but we've got them when it's on its way. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm only one voice out of the streets, aren't I? And I'm the chair, so what do you mean by it?
Well, are you open to ideas and suggestions?
People are also ideas and suggestions.
Because it's always one of the wild words that handed the money out while nothing come back to the council. And every 80 days, really something should do. Yes, sir. I think franchise the parking ticket for a raffle as well. And make some, even if it's only a whole line. So it encourages people to come. I mean, they're paying a quid. Now that quid can go to a charity or several charities. Or somebody can come back to the parish. But at the same time, I think if you want a raffle as well, I think it will encourage more people. Now that's an idea and a suggestion. What do you think?
Sorry,
We're not charging for anything this year at all.
there is one missing
Because we're raising money to pay for everything ourselves. And we're also hoping that the state will make it. Well, we're doing no tourism fundraising.
There's 300 quid to a car park.
Yeah,
That's
I
50p
think
first.
it's a rip-off. That's on the list we're going to do.
It must be, yeah.
Up for discussion. Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
not,
no way.
we're not doing it to make the market. We're doing it
Trying to raise funds.
because we want this being from the village. It's not that, but we don't charge people to park. I mean, we would be trading, we would be trading.
We'll use one.
Yeah, as a charity, we would be charging people to start for the council. No, I don't want to charge, we don't want to charge people.
No, it's like, yeah, we have, it's only
Because
used
if you got each other's emails, then I won't have any
There are several councils that charge people to come to the bonfire. Now,
I don't know.
that's what it is. There are other councils who will charge a nominal parking for community events. I know where you're coming Everybody can afford it.
without having to pay for parking.
Everybody can afford that.
You see, you wasn't passed on.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm just going to pass on the black cap. I'll pass the bird. Right, everybody. Okay, I'm going to ask for now for a proposal with a seconder for Mr. Coleman.
I'm quite happy to propose Mr. Coleman.
A seconder, John?
Yeah.
You can do the first name.
Well, okay, this is the best way to do it. So can I take a vote on Mr. Coleman, please? All those in favour of voting him? Thank you. That's carried. Mr. Smith.
I'm quite happy to propose Mr. Smith.
Proposal the seconder for Mr. Smith. Ivan and Johnny now. Can I have show of hands if we're happy to vote Mr. Smith? Thank you. That's it. Unfortunately, you now. Members of Anston Parish Council Hall, didn't bring. Can you, if you can just see the clerk and sign the book? No, you're all right. Do you want to come forward and just sign it? And make a large donation.
We're outnumbered over here now.
Are we starting the
Well, I'm just
meeting
going to
properly
make sure
now,
everybody settle down and we'll start the meeting properly.
Are we right?
Yep.
I want to ask the clerk something before we start, please. I asked the clerk to put something on the agenda and I can't find it. Is it on there, Michael, or have I missed it?
It's on the July 8th.
July, you said you would put it on
This
the
is business left over from last time, Christine, so we've not
I
added,
understand that.
we've not added anything new on.
I understand
We've
that.
to the way
Do you
tonight.
think you could get it on before the snows come?
Yes, dear, don't keep on time. We will try and do that. So it will be on the July the 8th agenda. But as I said, this is a carryover, trying to get rid of the backlog still.
Right, that's the one that you told me would be top of the next agenda.
Yes, we will make sure it's
No,
there.
you said the next one, which is this one.
But we've, as I say, we've carried stuff forward.
Well,
I
it's
didn't
not good
realise.
enough, Clyde, I'm sorry, but it's an important issue.
Well, I know it is, Christine, but we've got to get rid of this and that we can do
It
that
would
easy
have
by not
taken
adding-
5 minutes,
I'm sorry, but
and you could have told me it wasn't on.
it's not on, so
Well,
we'll have
it's
to
not
wait.
good enough.
Well, I'm sorry, right, if that's the way you feel, but,
I do.
well, you've made your point.
Not that it does any good.
Well, it will do, because it'll be on the next meeting. Can we go to item 8, which is confirm minutes of the Parish Council meeting held on the 15th of June 2015. We'll got that in. Can we go through it? It's page 1 of 3. Has anybody any? Anything to say on those?
Close that,
Any?
Can I just come on one of the items?
Sorry. Oh, did you? Pass it on.
I'm struggling to find my minutes, but on the minute where there's that form that I'm going to form a working group to look at Bradford Meadow. Anybody who wants to be part of that group, you can email me or telephone me, just let me know, and then I'll send some information out and I can get some dates set. So anyone who's on that, just contact me.
sorry, which one was that?
Yeah, this is for accuracy, not for. It's item. It's 77/15, item 7. There was a resolution passed for working group with passed chaired by Councillor Doctor. So, yeah, so people can just liaise with Stuart on that one. So it's page 1, okay? Everybody happy with that? Page 2. We'll go with that, add that item, Stuart. Any others?
There's nothing else in check. Can I propose that we accept the minutes?
Page 3.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Page 3. Any items on that one? We're okay with those? Can I close and second it? Accept those minutes. Close. John, second it. Do it. All those in favour? Thank you. Good, Sam. Yes, thank you. Consider matters from previous meetings. Item 1. This is the old finance and general purposes meeting 4/3/2015. To approve meeting cost of all hire associated with the meetings held by the ASC Skate 25 Group in connection with the current proposed skate park project. Anybody want to? This is something we've done for the last 18 months here, something like that, that we've allowed the group to meet here at no cost to them, because they're trying to self-finance, so it's something that we've allowed them to do. Can I just want to speak to them?
Yeah, just a quick one on clarification. There was quite a bit of confusion on the last administration. There was 2 skate park groups. There's one that I used to call a community skate park group, run by Miles. And I think there was another committee, a council committee, which I never got my head around who was running it and what status it had. Which one are we actually talking about?
If I just clarify that, that was a quarter liaison meeting, and that doesn't exist.
Just clarify that. The one we're talking about is Miles' group.
Yeah.
Can I just ask another question?
Christine?
I can't remember which group it was. Was it the quarterly meetings or Miles' group that there was a proposal to use the admin assistant to take notes? Which committee was that for?
We didn't do that anymore because we stopped that.
We stopped that.
And it was only on quarterly meetings.
That's all right, no problem.
We've done it in the quarter meeting where we take some.
Okay.
Fine.
Anybody else? Sorry. Janice and then... And then...
I just don't understand the skate park. What is it? I don't know anything about it. I know we've already got one, so we're in another one.
Well, it's to try and get a super duper...
So they're just improving on that one.
well, no, it could be... I mean, I'll let Marks, because he's the expert, he's been working on
At the
that.
moment, really, the kids, we've done quite a few, what's the word, when you ask people what they think?
Surveys.
Consultations. And consultations, we've done quite a few. We've got about 350 replies back from just questionnaires, and then we've got hundreds of different kinds of written forms of how they want to improve it. And basically working for the kids that come and approached us, they're working for it, and it's our group as adults to try and get funding from large funding bodies like the big lottery funds and other bits and bobs to try and get money to improve what we have there. We've got a plan, like an actual plan of a drawing of what we want it to be and what we're aiming towards, which when we've clarified what I'm going to be doing in reference, as in, we need to clarify. I think it's 11.4, I think is being pointed out to me. When we get to that point, I think it'll be a lot easier for me to bring things to the group.
And when's it going to happen, or don't we know yet?
They don't, not very quick, these things. They take about, once you find one, a funding body you've got to apply for, and they take about 4 months to get back to you, if they accept you. So you don't find out for 4 months if you've got the money or not. And at the moment, we're actually struggling for large chunks of money. It's going to be a lot of money for that. It's going to go for a full concrete thing. So we're applying for smaller grants, so it might take a bit longer and everything, but the kids understand this, we've explained it to them, and they're still working towards it, more importantly.
Can I just try and be helpful there? I think perhaps, and you went at the last meeting when you were due to give a short presentation, because you were... perhaps we can set a date when Miles can actually just speak to council, if everybody's happy, just councillors. So I know we've sort of built up the numbers gradually, but I think everybody needs to be brought up to speed on these things, and Miles is perhaps the best person to bring us up to where we are with all this and explain what position we're at. So it's a question of when we can sit down and have not at the start session of the thing, because we've gone straight into time, but I think it'll give you a big opportunity to tell people where, and then see if anybody's willing to help out with it in future, because I think you're probably looking at reshaping all your working groups or whatever, aren't you, Stan, you move forward. So perhaps we need to refresh that, and then if Miles can inform all councillors, everybody's starting off from the same base then, and they're all, and then all new councillors are aware where we're at and what we're trying to do. So we can arrange that at a later date. I think that would be helpful.
Can I again just try and move things forward I can? What we're being asked for is to prove, I think, free use of the hall. I think that's what we're being asked for. I'm looking to get a huge room. We were discussing free use of the hall at a previous meeting, and I can't remember off the top of my head what we actually decided. I think we decided to look at it.
Yes, we're waiting for this year.
Right, that's yeah.
Yeah, we're
So
waiting for the group to get back.
So to move on again, can I propose then that we meet the cost subject to the outcome of the working party at a future date?
Yeah, that's fine. I think what it does help, again, if the parish councils seem to be actively supporting the group, and that does help with their funding bit. So really, if whatever we can do in whatever small way, it will help when they put that bid together, that they've got the support of the council, etc., etc. So, Christine?
Am I right in saying that the skate park group haven't actually got any money?
We have got some, but obviously only a few bits, and we're actually trying to spend that on the kids for rewards and things like that for when they do community.
So you're not in a position really to pay for them?
No, it's not regular income. You see, it's when we do fundraising.
Fundraising, bikepacking and stuff like that. Tesco's trying to raise some funds. Can I have a proposal? Second. Can I have a vote? All those in favour of giving them the vote? Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10.2 to discuss cost of green waste removal. Right. Yeah. This is good.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, this is going back quite a while. This one into March.
Can I propose that we put this into confidential session? And the reason for doing that is we've had some quotes, which I don't think they should be made public because it's commercial in confidence. And I think there's a wider issue of how we get rid of all this waste. It's a bigger problem than I think people might appreciate. So can I propose that in confidential session?
Can I just ask a question? The green waste removal for what the parish council have or the allotments of the whole parish?
The parish council as a whole. Yeah. So,
Why do we, can't we?
no, it's nothing to do with the allotments. It's purely,
Oh no,
it's purely for the grass and everything else, but we do generate grass.
Why not
pruning
dispose
and
of itself
everything
by composting and then have our own compost used?
well, we've had some quotes in for disposing of green waste, and I think I agree with Councillor Thornton that we perhaps just discuss it in confidential, you know, it is commercially. Can I have a seconder for that motion? Aye, thank you. Christine, do you want to speak to me?
No, I'm
Please?
sticking my hand up.
Okay, thank you. Got your tray,
Trying to get you going.
Can I have a short answer for that, that we
No, that's
discuss that? Okay, thank you. I think that wasn't an hour, was it? Item 10.3, Mr. Gillis, Mr. Stewart, you want to move that into confidential?
Yeah, I think I should give the reason why. It's a complaint I've made against a council contractor. And while I feel quite comfortable speaking in open session about this, some councillors may not. So I've requested that this goes into confidential session because I want also to divulge some information I've received. Thank you.
Okay, well, it seems we've got one or two others that I think we're going to go into confidential. So the clerk suggested that at 9 o'clock we stop and give the public 10-minute session, and then at 9:10 we move into confidential session, and hopefully we'll get that business conducted then. So the public will have the 10 minutes at 9 o'clock, and then we'll reconvene, and then when that's finished, we'll go into confidential session at 9:10 and discuss these other items. So is everybody happy with that? Your proposal still?
Well, I think so.
That's that one to go into confidential. Yeah, seconder for that. Okay. All those in favour, please, show. Thank you. Item 10.4, to discuss email regarding condition of roads. That's from, it's from a resident of the village. If you can all find that, it's it's got those how many numbers on it since we've moved it out. It was dated 9th of April, and it's subject to state of roads within South Anston. Can everybody find that one? It was C11. Second to be C17.
We have one there, Joe, as well.
Now what's it? If I can just, well, members are just searching through the various packs to try and work through all the paperwork. If I just read you the gist of it out, it's regarding somebody was hurt tripping over a pothole in South Anston. And it goes on to say, it's a shame it has come to this before RMBC does something about it. I see patch repairs have been done on Crowgate, etc. etc. I see Sheffield. We're all aware of the state of the roads in the village. If I can just update everybody on this, West Street and Crowgate are going to be resurfaced during this financial year. So between now and 2016, from the junction of Sheffield Road up to just past Parkston House, with edge of the village, that stretch of road is going to be totally resurfaced between now and the end of March next year. I suspect it will be sooner rather than later because it's going to be dependent on you trying to get it done during the summer months. So that's good news in that respect. Still trying to work on getting High Street and other areas of the roads, but I think from what I understand from the highways maintenance sections that is part of the 3-year programme that Dog Kennel Lane will be done, and then we go down Dog Kennel Hill and up Red Hill at the other side in the next 2 years after 2016. So it'll be 2016, 17 to 17, 18, and hopefully that stretch from West Street will be done all the way through to the top of Red Hill, which has got to be good news for everybody concerned. If I can also give you an update on part of Lockwood Avenue is going to be done as well.
The switch off and switch off.
Somebody's phone has got some interference. Somebody's phone.
That's got the fibre, on my mind, it's got the fibre in for all the roadworks.
Oh right, have you
So
got
if
that?
anyone needs to have a look there.
Yeah. So that is going to be done, and also Lockwood. I'm not sure how much of Lockwood Avenue is going to be done, but that is on the programme as well. And people, just add on, people are probably aware that Mulberry Road and London Drive are going to be resurfaced in the next couple of weeks.
Can I just come in?
Yeah.
Just come in quickly, sir. It's just again to reassure the public, or there's not many here. Councillors do attend our NBC meetings of various types and sources, and I can assure you that when we go there, we bring up the roads quite regularly, to the point they're probably sick and tired of hearing about it, because they keep pleading they haven't got the money. Well, that's not our problem. We must be doing something right between all those that do go there, because if you've noticed, North Anston, I don't know about South Anston, but North Anston has had major roadworks in the last 2 or 3 months. So we do keep plugging, and I think that as a council we do ask them to repair roads. So we are getting there.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Sorry, hang on. Gordon and then John and then me.
Right, well, I wrote a letter last week about the condition of the roads from the A57 up to Paradise Square and from the Sheffield Road to Station Hotel. And I got a letter back this morning saying it wasn't too bad.
Well, I've had a letter as a borough councillor saying West Street to the top of Crowbrook will be resurfaced during this financial year. Letters are going out to residents, I think this week, asking them if they wanted to do it, which I'm sure they'll turn around and say, no thanks, they're fine. But as I say, it's going to happen. Just before anybody else, if I'm just giving you another bit of background on that, what they're doing now, they've got a large pot of money to spend on estate roads, which is why those roads are getting priority. The A and B ones are in a different funding regime. So they're looking at, because they've got a lot more to do, so they've got to be chosen more carefully. But I think we qualify in Anston probably for some of the worst roads in the Borough Council, which is why they're really at the point now where they've got to do some work on these, because if they don't, it's going to be more and more costly. So High Street, I've contacted them about that. Sheffield Road, up to the Trooper again. They're on the radar, but it's a question of when that money becomes available for the work to do, and hopefully it'll be sooner rather than...
Well, South Yorkshire roads are, in particular, and Rotherham, South Yorkshire in general, and Rotherham in particular, are amongst the worst roads in the country.
I think they're well aware of that. They're trying to address it as much as they can with the money that they've got. But the estate roads, for the money they've got, they can do about 60 mile of estate roads. If you did it on A&B roads, you'd get about 25 mile done. So at this moment in time, it's better value for the money too. And so I went to a meeting in April about this and suggested some of the roads on the North Anston estate. They fitted the criteria that they were looking at. So it's just fallen fortuitously that we're going to get them done. But it's certainly going to be a lot better for people in that area. John?
Well, I thought there was a rule that was put out by highways that any holes in the road over a certain depth, which was something like 4.5 millimetres.
40 millimetres.
How many?
40.
40. Would be dealt with within 4 hours.
No, not 4 hours. I think it's 24 hours.
24 hours, okay, 24 hours is fine. Because some of these holes, you're actually showing the hard coat. They've gone through the first and second coat, they're down to the hard coat. And I'm afraid that, unfortunately, it's just mismanagement. The Borough Council for years have had our rates offers a lot of money, and they've squandered it on silly projects. And this is why we're not had the roads mended. Other people like Bassett Law, they get the same rates that we get, and they pay the same rates, and they've got lovely roads. I just think that it's an example of the Borough Council bad management.
Well, if I can just clarify, Bassett Law, don't actually, it's Nottinghamshire County Council that do Bassett Law's roads.
Well, the roads in Bassett Law.
It's a different funding.
Yeah, but the
organisation.
roads in Bassett Law, wherever it comes from the ratepayer, and the ratepayers haven't had a fair crack at the whip in roads.
Well, I can only suggest that if people want to look about the roads, if they go on the highways maintenance section on the internet, all the information is there about road standards, where they're planning to work, etc. So I think Jonathan's got some of that. It's
all on
it's already available now. People want to look at it, make comment, then they're quite entitled to something.
What I was going to ask was, it's been partially answered by these three gentlemen, and what I was going to ask is who decides the priority of which roads get resurfaced?
Well,
the reason why I ask in particular, because I live up North Anston here at the Oval, and I noticed the Leyland Drive has been resurfaced partially. They missed a bit out in the middle, which will probably need doing in a couple of years. Why they didn't do it all is the odd thing, you know. And also there's at least one, and maybe more, side roads being done, being resurfaced. When if you walk over the road to the Cutler, not the one to the shops, but the one where you're going to the Wells place, it's a diagonal step. And that hasn't been done. So why didn't we save the stuff that was put on a site one, which I believe is a cul-de-sac, and do this one, which people use almost weekly, just get rubbish to rubbish.
Well,
it hasn't been done.
I think what if you, as I say, if you read the website, it explains exactly how they come to the conclusion. It's between the highway inspector, councillors suggesting it, parish councillors, we're asked every year to put forward roads that we think should be considered for resurfacing. It's actually what condition you're in as to whether it's beneficial to do them now or in the future. But the reason later it's not being done is another section of that will be done next year, hopefully, and then after that, same as Woodset's Road. It's to try and pick the worst bits off first, and then the entire thing will be done.
I realise it's a huge problem, and it shouldn't really be the council's problem. It's a central government.
It's a national problem, you're right.
Right, isn't it?
I mean, I will, from the point of view of new councillors, I'll try and get Steve Finlay out of the highways engineers section to come and see. He's been before, but he's more than happy to come out and just explain how they arrive at their decisions and everything else. So if you want me to arrange that at some point in time, I'm more than happy to do so. And you will come out and give us the lowdown as to how they work it out. I'm a lot more clear now, having been to this meeting in April than I was before, and it makes a lot more sense how they actually arrive at a decision. But they've got a limited pot of money, and it's trying to be even-handed about how it goes through the board. So, but I will get him to come out and speak to the council.
First of all, thanks to Clive for giving us that information, because that, without being a borough council, we probably wouldn't have found out that stuff anyway. But secondly, there are two other borough councillors as well in this area, and I think if people want to put pressure on them and contact them, if they've got complaints about the roads or have got any comments, and likewise just writing or emailing Street Pride as well. So it's not just all in Clive's back, there are other people that should be contacted as well, I think. Thanks.
Can I suggest then, Chair, that you invite the other two councillors to come to our meeting?
Well, they're invited to every meeting. I've discussed that with Michael, and they are sent a pack, and they're invited to every meeting to attend. So it's
not to attend.
It's entirely up to them. I can't make it. It's the invitation sent out to every meeting. Okay, we've discussed that. I don't think there's no resolution to pass on that. Just to receive it now, we discussed it, so everybody's happy with that. Yeah. Thank you. Just have a show of hands that we've received that. Thank you. 10.5 to discuss email regarding village signs, behaviour at meetings and litter. That's a fairly broad list, that one. Yeah.
This is a letter from a member of the public in South Anston. The lady covers 1, 2, 3, at least 4 issues. I'll go down, if I can, paragraph by paragraph, in my opinion. The first one's about village signs in South Anston. And the lady saying that the signs are pointing to North Anston, but in general, she said the signs are pointing to North Anston. what they're having around. And saying South Anston, it's not right. Basically, she said, quite rightly, I mean, she said that there's a sign that points up towards Sheffield Road that says South Anston, when you're actually in South Anston, coming in from Todwick or the other way. I agree with what she said in the first paragraph. One of my bugbears is we're always classing ours Anston. There's no such place. It's either North Anston or South Anston. Yet we insist on putting road signs saying Anston. It doesn't exist. Going on to the second paragraph, she's making some, she'll say, complaints and observations about behaviour at parish meetings. I'm not going to say nothing else on that. Hopefully that's now been resolved. The next one, I found this quite curious, the next one, speaking to Joe this morning, I presume she means Joe Burton. I understand there are vacancies for parish councils, and I would comment there were possibly people in the village who would like to be on. I find this quite curious because this is dated the day before the announcement came out that there were vacancies, so they put a into that. The next paragraph, it's a meeting about, she said she last attended a council meeting when we discussed or approved the field on Ratford Road, which is what, 18 months ago, 2 years ago? And she makes reference to the next councillor, which, again, I won't say any more, I think most people know what's happening on that front. And the last part she really goes on to is about the litter. So would it not be possible to employ an unemployed person as a street sweeper? When I was growing up in Kipperton, we always had one, and a few years ago I did see someone employed. I would suggest that's someone employed, probably RMBC. My view is we haven't got the money to employ someone just to pick up litter. It's not feasible. And again, it's a subject we do get onto Rotherham about quite often. I've actually met with officers. It's quite a long time ago now, it's maybe time I did it again. And I was mainly pointing out the rubbish down Woodsetts Road, etc. and other areas of the village. I actually put them in my car and drove them around. So again, it's a thing we do, on occasions we are going back to these people about litter. And that's all I've got to say.
Anybody else any comments on that? If you
Oh, no, think about the Southampton sign, Chair. The Southampton sign, which is opposite what was the garage. It goes up Sheffield Road and it points up there. It says Southampton because anybody driving along the A57, if they haven't got that sign, finish up workshop. There's only one street there, one workshop road, everything is off it. So it's obviously logical to say Southampton, I would have thought.
Well, the signs at the crossroads have all been redone in the last...
Yeah, we're talking about the one that points to the right, that's what she's on about, just back to the lane.
Yeah, all the signs in the village are installed by the Borough Council. It's not something that we have any control over. We can ask for them if we think there's some missing. I think St James's Church have asked if they can have a brown heritage sign pointed because of the how old the church is. And that was still going, but having seen the documentation it's sent out, it's about 20 pages long and really you lose interest after the first couple and think, will not bother. And it is a long-winded application, but you have to meet all these criteria and jump through all these hoops before you can get that. So, I mean, there are areas that do probably need re-signing, but again, as I say, it's a Borough Council matter, and I've taken it up with them on several occasions about signs that have been damaged or whatever. I think the recycling sign outside here is actually pointing to Ryan Brook School rather than where it should be pointing up the hill and or wherever to the McGill recycling site. So that's something we want interested. But it's like anything else, they've got Redfield staff to cover a big area. There's signs. But if anybody is aware whether they think there should be a sign or one is replacing, then just email Street Pride and let them know. At least it puts it in the chain of reply, and we might get something done. But it's just something we have to bear in mind.
They're pretty good Street Pride at responding.
So, as you say, from the science point of view, we can just keep working that one if anybody thinks we're short of them or aren't.
Because quite a few of these issues, we've moved on from these a long time ago, can I move that we agree to receive this email and accept that there's not a lot we can do about it?
No, that's fine. I just agree with Stuart's comment about there would be vacancies for parish councils. I noticed that on the day before the list came out that there was no election. So, as you say, so So can I have a proposal with seconded? Can I have all those in favour of receiving this? Thank you. I've not seen anything. Item 6, to consider use of hall for police outreach work and mobility scooter sessions. Request from Mr. Keane. Toy. Well, Mike just said it was put forward on behalf of Mr. Toy. We've not had any paperwork, so we really don't know much more about this. So whether we ask for more information? Is that the best way to do it? I'm not
I
sure.
was just going to suggest that, we just ask, have you got Mr. Toyne's telephone? If probably just ask the clerk to ring Mr. Toyne and see if he's still around and get some more information and then bring it back to the next meeting.
I have seen something on this in other areas about using community buildings for these mobility scooter sessions, which is, I think the police do it, it's teaching them awareness of when they're on the scooters, like where you can and can't ride and everything else. So I think it's probably a good idea. Whether we get enough takers down here, I don't know. But obviously somebody's thought that it might be a useful session to do. So perhaps if we contact Mr. Toyne and just ask him if he could come back to us and elaborate what he's looking at providing, and then we can make we can have a look at it again. So is everybody, do you want to propose that we...
I'll propose we do. We ask Mr. Toyne.
All those in favour, please? Sure, thank you. Item 7, to receive and acknowledge terms of service provision by the Yorkshire Local Councils Association. I think it's basically a continuation of
Just come in while people are trying to find it. But what this is there's a group called the Yorkshire Local Councils Association that we are a member of, and we use them quite regularly for advice, etc. And obviously we have to pay a membership fee each year. I personally believe it's very good value, although it's quite expensive, because we get legal advice and then on our training courses. What we've been asked to receive is really their terms and conditions, which goes out to any council that is a member. And I think as John's just said, I don't think there's any changes to last year in the terms and conditions. So it's a continuation. Can I propose that we accept that?
Second. All those in favour? Sure, thank you. Item 8, to receive communication regarding email accounts and consider dedicated council email accounts for members. I'm sure people will have a view on this one. Drew, do you want to start?
I don't actually have it in front of me here. I recall a figure of about £50 per email address, which seems quite excessive really, given that most web hosting packages will have 200 free email addresses in them.
Yeah, amazing. I found a bit better before most people. Michael was getting a quote regarding this. Standard mailboxes and advanced mailboxes. Standard mailboxes £15 each per annum, and then advanced mailboxes, AV, anti-spam, etc., £52 per annum. If you order 10 off or more, price is reduced to £40 per annum. I have no idea what we're looking at on this. I mean,
Can I just come in?
just Stuart, then Colin, then Christine.
I was first.
Come on then, Christine.
Can you give us a good case for using it, or needing it, or paying for it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a suggestion from a member of the public that said about, we have looked at it before about having councillors' emails addressed. I know everybody knows each other's, but I'd say it was a comment made by a member of the public, and I think we have gone down this route before. I mean, what Michael said is he can go back to the company that have given us these quotes and try and find out why it is so expensive, you know, if it's for a technical reason or something else. Sorry.
Can you give us a good case for using it, needing it, or paying for it?
No, well, I said we're not going to make that decision, but I'm going to ask the clerk if everybody's in favour to go back and find out why it is so expensive. If it is for technical reasons. Well, I think once we know that, you know, if that is going to be the case, and it is going to be that expensive, then I think we'll just bring it back and make a decision as to whether we go with it or not. I'm personally not
I can't see the
too
point.
happy. I'm not in favour of it, I have to say, but I mean, that's again down to
Well, I personally can't see the point, but I'm willing to listen if somebody else.
Well, I think we need to have a good case for why we should go down that route. I don't think it's something that's pressing.
I've got everybody's email address. I can email them if I
And
want
you
to.
can email the office now, get Marshall to pay, I mean, to me.
Sorry?
Please, then the office can email us.
Can I just, John,
It's emailing each other.
can I just bring the clerk in on this one? Just give
Yeah,
it
the email address that we're talking about here is not the ones where the councils can contact each other, because obviously you now have got your own email addresses. Your own email addresses are private, so as far as the council is concerned, we will not issue those email addresses to anybody because we don't want you then to be bombarded with emails that you don't want. If you decide as councils to share your own email address, that's fine, that's your personal decision. What this is to have a corporate image, if you like, so that each councillor has a corporate image email address. That then is available to the public, and you can go into that email address and have all your correspondence in that one place without it jamming up your own personal email systems. It's entirely
But do we need it, man?
That's what you decide.
Well, I mean, that's for members to decide whether they think we can manage how it works at the moment, whereby the clerk circulates most stuff to all members if people are student.
As I said, we've just explained about personal emails. I mean, I use mine for everything, so it's personal and a public one. We have a system at the moment where if anybody wants to contact an individual council, normally get their email addresses somehow. And again, individual councillors, if they choose to give them. We also have a system is anybody wants to speak on about council business, they can always contact the clerk, and the clerk will forward the email on to the individual, and then it's up to the individual. So I personally don't see any need for paying out extra money for email addresses that we don't need.
I don't think that statement's quite true, Stuart, because I asked Michael to forward emails and he refused. That is why I've got a list of everybody's email address and I've circulated it, so if anybody wants to contact anybody else, I've given you one.
Yeah, what I'm suggesting is if a member of the public says, I have an issue with a councillor X, Y or Z, if that person hasn't got the email of them people, if they email the clerk, I'm quite sure that if it's council business, the clerk would forward it on.
Ask it.
Can I just read what Michael just said to me? That the item in question is round robin emails, which is different to.
So if I'd sent it to each individual one and said, will you send it back, is that different to send it to everybody? Do you not see the same situation?
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's using incorrectly the system that we've. I'll let Michael elaborate on this.
What I'm saying is that if a member of the public contacts me and he wants to be directed to a councillor, then I'm quite happy to send that email through to that councillor with the email address that I've got. What we don't want as a council is for the council to be carrying on business via email round and round in circles, which is officially coming through the council network. This is the forum for you to discuss council business. If you want to individually talk to each other about things, then that's fine, but it shouldn't involve the council. So if you're coming through my email address or the council's email address, and then I'll circulate it to everybody, and there's a great discussion going on, then that is a discussion behind closed doors, and it shouldn't be happening. So therefore, that's why I don't permit it, if you like. It's a personal thing, but I think it protects the council from having discussions behind closed doors when really it should be done here.
Can you say quite agree with that? Because you need to be open.
Yes, we do.
I'm not saying
So we'll go on to the next miles.
Why are we paying for them anyway? Because they are free to set up, like an Outlook account and things like that are free to set up. Is it different just because it can be traced? You, like, for instance, you could log in and see what has been sent. Oh, it's like the at anston.gov.co.uk.
Well, I think that was the point that Cloud was making about asking why it is so expensive, the figures that they've quoted. I mean,
we could all personally go and make a own private account, and as long as we give for free, or an AOL, or on Yahoo, or anything. And as long as you have that information, we can put that out on newsletters and things like that for people to email with different accounts.
I have to say, I agree that I don't think discussion should be taking place outside this forum. I think, I mean, we've got a letter later on the agenda where we get to it, but I was quite upset with the fact that the person that sent it didn't actually come and speak to me about the problems before writing a letter. And I think any councillor that's got anything to discuss, this is the forum where we discuss it, not sort of on blogs or anything else like that. If you've got a problem with an issue with anything that we're discussing or any decisions, we do it all together here in front of the public whenever possible, so everybody's aware of what's gone on. And I agree with Jonathan, I don't think we should be having sort of private discussions wearing down, because I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, it becomes an onerous task trying to keep control of it, and I think the system that we've got at the moment works quite well. And if I want to speak to one individual, I always go through the clerk. If I want to pass it on to another councillor, I go through the clerk to directing them. I don't tend to go direct unless it's something pressing. But anything I want to discuss with councillors, I'll do it either via the clerk or here. And I think everybody should be quite happy with that set system. Sorry.
Yeah, just going back to the emails, if councillors want, I mean, at the moment on the website, we've got your details in terms of your name, your telephone number, your register of interest. It's all on the website, and also in every newsletter that comes out, the telephone number's there as well. There's no problem in publishing email addresses if you don't mind the public having those email addresses. If councillors want to create their own Anston Parish Council exclusive email address, which obviously you won't be using the term Anston Parish Council, but you can just create something different which won't get snowed into with your personal emails, then that's fine as well. If that's what the council wishes, then that's great. I think then you lose the corporate image part of it, but is it worth paying that amount of money for that image? That's a rather to use the way up and decide.
Drew, sorry first, and then John.
Sorry, I'll keep it brief. Having looked at the budget, I do feel that we pay perhaps more than we should for our web hosting and email provision. But for the sake of, it often is slightly more expensive for an approved provider for a .gov or a .nhs or whatever to use provider. But I think I'd like to propose that we bring this back to a meeting when we have more time later on in the year to revisit the possibility of getting some quotes for alternative providers.
John?
Christine, this list that you've given us is very good, and to me,
It's a list, John.
this list of the email addresses that you've given me tonight,
Yeah.
and out of the 13, 11 have got different providers, and that's good enough for me. You've got Sky, Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, TalkTalk. We're all different, so why should we bother having a new one?
They are everybody's personal email address, and they have all agreed to circulate it to council.
I agree with you, and I think it's a...
That's all I need.
Yeah, and I support what you said.
Jonathan,
if we're going to discuss this at a future meeting, can you look at the possibility of a government secure internet email address? Because surely some items that you may get may be quite sensitive, and you want us to enjoy something else. Not a very good idea.
Very expensive.
But that
Just
should
have a
be
look at
brought.
it.
But
That should be brought to council, I think.
Well, that's maybe for the next one.
Can I ask if anybody who's made a proposal about bringing that back at a later date? Perhaps we need to just reflect on this for a while, because everybody's sort of new councillors, and once you find out how much email stuff you get through and what have you, then you might be in a better position to make a judgment as to how you think it might work. Personally, I've got more than enough on my plate from Borough Council and my own email address and the stuff that might be sent out. But again, it's down to members. So perhaps if we look at it, I don't know, back end of the year, something like that, when we're looking at the budget and see what people's views are once you've had a chance to get used to the amount of traffic that you'll get. It's how you want to manage it at the end of the day. But I say, I'm still in favour that any discussions are done here and not out in the ether.
Is that a proposal?
So I think Joe's proposal is we're looking at bringing it back later on in the,
I'll second it.
in the year. So Ivan seconded. Can I have all those in favour, please? And
I'll vote against it.
okay, that's fine. So do you want the recording vote? I just
No, I'm just going to say,
okay.
I'll vote against it because it's a waste of time. It's wasting our time. It's wasting everybody's time. What's wrong with doing it as we're doing it now?
I tend to agree with John, so, but that's down to members to bring it back.
to speak anymore.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, Drew. Well, sorry, I apologise.
So my proposal was to bring it back later on, but also in the meantime to obtain some fresh quotations for
So do you want to set, we'll do that again, we'll revise that proposal then, or vote on it? Well, we'll so, okay. We'll move on then. Item 9, to receive communication. Good contact Supaid, and I'll look at the costs, and we'll look at it again later on, and let people see how they manage the amount of stuff they get through in the next few weeks. Item 9, to receive communication regarding microphones and consider quote for 2 additional member microphones and 1 public microphone. We have a set of quotes in front of us for this. Personally, I think that we don't have the money for this at the moment. I think we need to manage with what we've got. I think once Christine's got everybody in line about using the microphone, then I don't think we'll
Yes, I do.
we'll have a problem. You can do microphone on it. In fact, perhaps instead of shouting, just hold the sign up and say.
I'll borrow you get hooked for that.
Yeah, okay. So that's fine. I'll put a sort of rubber cover so it will work.
Don't give that to me.
I'll definitely. So, sorry Stuart.
Right. This is an ongoing issue, this microphones. As everybody can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2 mics there, between 15 of us now. End of the day, we're here to be accountable to the public. We're here to be accountable to members of the public, and if the public can't hear what we're saying, well, what's the point of us sitting here discussing items? There are several people who do attend who are hard of hearing, especially if they're more elderly. I think it's something we have to seriously consider. But when we're looking at, doing a rough roundabout guessing, £800, £900 for microphones. I did have all the figures worked out on the last time we spoke about it, so I haven't got on with me. It's a big outlay. And I think it's, as you said in the budget, it's something we should seriously consider. Because again, we film these meetings, and when you watch the playbacks of the meetings, it's very hard to hear what half the people are saying, even with the microphones. I agree, let's leave it till maybe the budget time. But I think it's something we need to seriously consider, because we can't carry on passing microphones backwards and forwards all the time.
Yes, we can, Stuart. It's not
Use
hard,
the
is
mic,
it?
please. Use the mic.
If it's the consensus,
Excuse me. But this camera picks up.
if it's the consensus of the council,
If you want to watch that.
if it's the consensus of the council to carry on passing microphones, we're quite happy to come to.
Want a little bit of effort, Stuart. That's all it needs.
Can we go with the proposal then, which is to defer it to the budget meeting, and then we'll have a look at whether it's feasible in line with whatever else we think is a priority.
Can I just suggest that we do share microphones equally?
You've got one in front of you.
You're not very right. So can I have a second for that? Second. Do we have a...
Can I just say, sorry to interrupt again, if we're in microphones now, there's a letter.
There is a letter
consider
about it.
communication complaint, and I think we may have addressed that issue. Can I just see if it's, and I'm looking at the person who wrote the letter.
No, I didn't.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
No,
No, you've got to look at that person is not here tonight.
Janice.
Unless the council wants to speak, but could we receive that one as well? Because they're both on the same mic.
Yeah.
Are you alright with that? Yeah.
We'll do that, and...
Would you like to speak on it?
Oh, me?
No,
I didn't
Janice.
write the
No,
letter.
Janice.
Oh, Janice.
You Janice?
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the other one that's coming up. Go on,
Do you know
Janice.
what, my
just a
point,
minute.
I've got a big goal. My point was, when I was listening to it on the recording, I mean, I don't know if it's too bad here, but when you try and listen to it, when you're watching the playback, I just couldn't tell what people were saying, only the chairman, but it wasn't this council. Is this on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to speak into it, Janice.
Michael's just made the point that it is important that we do pass it from person to person, because that's how it's picked up on the recording. So he's quite right, but it's making sure that people remember to do it. It's very difficult to just pass it sideways.
Yeah, but
Is
it
there
was
a,
totally
is there a prompter here though?
I know we have now,
Tap
so,
sound on
so
it at first,
we'll
Janice.
have a look at it later in the year and then see what we can do. It might be that we can.
But it wasn't this council, it was
No.
totally different.
Yeah, we need to look at it as a whole and see if we can improve that and if we've got the money to do it. Okay. So we'll propose and second that we bring it back. This is the second.
Can I propose that we bring
No, we've already got a proposal. The proposal is to refer it to the budget meeting and to receive the letter.
Yes.
All those proposal and second? One, two, lots of seconds, thirds. All those in favour? Thank you. Item 11. 10. Consider communication complaint regarding the use of microphones. That's what we just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is 10, just...
Oh no, this is the letter that I referred to earlier on in the meeting. It's not. Well, I suppose it is loosely about the microphones, isn't it? This was a letter by a resident after the 18th of May meeting, the first council meeting, regarding, it starts off with please use the microphone, etc., etc. The person who wrote the letter is not here tonight. I was quite willing to discuss it in public session. I think what I will do is defer it to the next meeting so we can discuss it. As I said, I was disappointed that what we weren't approached, or I wasn't approached by the person who wrote the letter saying what their problems were during that meeting. I quite happily discussed the issues with them, but I would still like to bring it back to the next meeting. So if we can defer that one. I don't know whether everybody's found it C229, I think it was originally, using most of our numbers.
Sorry, which is it, Clive?
It says by hand at the top. It's a letter from a resident regarding. It was a letter from a resident regarding how the council meeting, on the first full council meeting, is conducted.
Can we bring that back?
Yes, I would like to bring it back.
I'm sure she'd like to be here.
Yes, I'm sure she would. So can I propose that we bring that back to the next meeting and then we can discuss it and try and find out any problems. Now, is it seconded? All those in favour? It will give you time to find the letter then if you can find it.
Yeah.
Find it very nice. You've got a few days to rest and dig it out. Right, so Michael just said by the next meeting everything that we haven't covered will be all in fact, so that we don't need to refer back to earlier packages. So we should be where we are. 10, 11, which is to consider grant application from Crazy Crafters. Now this Drew is our grant application guru. I don't know whether you want to speak on that. I've got one or two comments.
Just very briefly, if I may, Clive. The information that they provided in the form, it appears that they're a private group. They haven't been able to supply bank account details or any accounts for the last financial year. And I think from the wording of the application, it's not clear that there'll be any direct benefit to the village. So I propose that we don't accept it.
Anybody else want to speak on that?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah, well, just let.
Again, I'll pick up on the point Drew's made. It says,
Sorry,
I won't go into it because I think some of these figures should be confidential because it's their account.
I'm surprised they haven't got a bank account, but can you draw people's attention? Sorry, so that, it's just a good name.
We can't hear you.
Right.
I don't think that's crazy practice.
Can you speak into it? Please, still.
Here's the practice too. Right, if anybody's got this, the point I'm making is, on, to say page 2, if you go to their current account and look at that figure, there's quite a substantial amount of money there already. So I would agree with.
Chair?
Sorry, this was my error. I said
Well, they don't actually.
No, it's just they put current account.
Yeah, but it does say they don't have an account, but they've got money in a current account, so they either have or they haven't.
So don't have account or bank accounts. So you're right, you don't have a bank account.
The comment I would make is that it says if the application is accepted, could the cheque be made payable to, and it's an individual's name rather than a group's name or an organisation's name. Now, I have to say when I saw that there were very few people attending from Anston, who I can see, and I tend to agree with Drew that I can't see what it looks to me to be like a private organisation. In fact, it's a person's bank account. I'm not happy with it because we also asked for a set of criteria for people to fulfil, which is bank accounts, secretary, treasurer, etc., etc. And I think we need. I can't support that we give a grant this time round because I don't think we've got sufficient information. And I'd be more happy if they did have a bank account, but I'm not of a mind to grant anything. The fact that it is a person's personal bank account, I don't think that's correct from the parish council's money. Colin, you want to?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You make a valid point about making cheques payable to individuals. I'm very concerned that several organisations who ask us for a grant haven't got the courtesy to turn up to a parish meeting and put their case. And this is a prime example. And I think that if this person from Crazy Crafters wants a grant, then I think we should ask them to come here and present a case. And let's ask them the question, why, they're a group, why haven't they got a group bank account?
Well, as I say, there is a set of questions, have you used that we do ask, and this is perhaps something that when you start looking at this grant, perhaps you look at this form again, Drew, and read this and ask for more information, because I think we have to be transparent. We need all the information to make sure that where we're paying the money is going to the right area and it's benefiting the people of Anston first, and it's not a private organisation. I can't think of any others that have never sent us all their bank account details that have applied for funding. It's very meagre in its sort of information, and we do have quite a fair number of questions on it, but most of them not very superficially answered. So I mean, it's down to members, but if you want to make that proposal, we're not minded to. Does anybody want to ask them for more information? I'm quite happy to just to propose list to refuse it.
It says we're going to do a presentation. I think the previous money we given to the football team, so the Little Leicester, they weren't here, so it shouldn't really be.
Well, it's something we may look at in the future, but we do ask groups to turn up. And
I was just going to say the only group that's been is the Anston Parish game.
Yeah. But even the Little Leicester have got bank accounts and so they fulfil the criteria as far as I'm concerned, and it's going to a group, it's going to a football club account with 2 signatures as they used to do. So it's something I think we need to look at and tighten up on and make sure people are.
Yeah, I agree with Clive, because we made these rules quite a long time ago, and they're as good today as they were then. And there were certain things that they had to answer on the form, and unless they filled them in and told us all this information, then they weren't even considered. We never required them to come before council before. We take it that if they're going to apply, they give us the information. Because you're not going to stand and say, have you got a bank account? Yes.
Well, if we get a new form that incorporates all this and they fill all the information in correctly, then I don't think we need to go down that route, because we should have everything on that form and they make an informed decision as to whether we we give them a grant or not, and everything
I
seems
think
to
maybe
be
you're right, Clive, that the format's looking at again.
It wants refreshing, doesn't it? Because it is outdated, so perhaps that's something that we could do. So can I have another proposal that we don't give the grant? Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Can I have a show of hands all those moving that? Thank you. Following items available to members on request: Village Watch, issue 224, 225, 226, 227. Apparently, yeah, they're also available on the website. They're also an interesting read, actually. People want to just have a look what's happening in the village. I think basically the Village Watch one is South Anston only. It would be nice if we... Well, they do provide the statistics for North Anston as well, so it is quite illuminating, actually, if you do read through it. And it is a helpful little document that they do produce. Apparently, Devonshire Drive area is quite prone to.
I'm not on there.
No, we're only starting with that. Run in that area. Stuart, do you want to take it?
Again, just a bit of background. We have this item, this is the following items that are available to members on request, and then it lists them. Do we actually need that particular paragraph in? Because as Michael said, they're all on the website anyway, or we get them forwarded.
There used to be an occasion where every month one person would always want to see the Cuckoo magazine. So,
could I ask that the clerk possibly consider to take that paragraph off, is it?
Well, I think it is handy if people are aware of these, because some of the stuff that we do get is quite interesting, the Cuckoo and such like the Jettican Canal Trust. So it's just an item we can whistle through now. It's a listing in front of you if people want to read them.
Suppose we accept, or we receive all these, Chair.
Yeah, and so the Cuckoo, sorry Michael, I also get a copy that I can float the spare copies down, it's quite interesting, the stuff that's, and the Chesterfield Canal is going to get more and more featured in the next few years, because from my sins I'm on a working group with that, about that as a borough councillor, but there is also going to be a vacancy for a parish councillor to join that group, but that'll be sorted out next week, so I'll bring that one back, but that is an interesting document. Quite a lot of stuff always going off on Chesterfield Canal. Yeah, and this is the one that Mrs. Estrada Hayes reminds of, and again we pay a fee to that every year, so the Open Space magazine is available, so if anybody does want to borrow them, then we tend to get that.
You do get that electronic format, do we not?
I think I do email that.
Yeah, but he just send that out, and then there's the AGM for the Open Spaces, so we do, so if you've got time, it is interesting just to read up on, but the Chesterfield Canal is particularly interesting because a fair chunk of it does go through our parish, so it's something that we should bang the drum about, I think. So if we receive all those, that's A, B, C, D, and E. Can I have a proposal that we
Yeah, propose that, Chair.
Can I have a second? Thank you. All those in favour of receiving them, thank you. Item 11, discuss matters notified by members, stroke the clerk. No resolutions may ruled on this item unless listed below. This is one for Michael. Consider approval pollard in stroke filling poplars at Crowgate. I take it you might want to. Do you want to have a...
Does it need to be on the grounds of safety? In that case, we've got to do it.
There's only one point, and that is we are discussing the Crowgate lease later on. Perhaps it would be better to tie that in with the Crowgate lease.
Yeah, I think it might be. Is this...
Can I just, Jonathan wants to have a look.
Sorry.
Michael just said what I was going to say too, but it is connected to the Crowgate lease.
Yes.
Can I just say, I thought we, I don't want to look where it is, I thought we had some form of agreement with Jones Homes that they were going to follow.
I'm just going to raise that issue. Yeah, again, that perhaps is better under the Crowgate lease because I don't know whether members are aware that there is there's a development plan for Parston House that's going to be demolished and there are 10 houses going on there. But we met 18 months since, Stuart, myself, the clerk and one of the councillors to discuss the work with Jones Homes, and they were proposing to do some, in return for using part of the Crowgate ground that we lease for some of their site accommodation. They would, yes, you were there as well. As for the sales office and some of the site area, they were going to refurbish the changing rooms for us, and they were also going to do some work to the trees around the perimeter that would save us a lot of money at the end of the day. £2,000 plus it would save us if they did that work. Unfortunately, the work should have started in April, and they're not on site yet, and I don't know what the problem is, but I think the clerk's right that we need to tie all these together, because I don't want us to go down the road of having trees felled, paying money for it, and then we find out that they come back and say, oh, we didn't do that. But unless they say, we'll give you what it costs, but I don't think that will probably be unlikely. So it's a question of how serious, how soon we have to do this work to avoid any further problems. So
shall we discuss that with any?
I think we need to look at that as part of that. Sorry, Christy.
Which land are they on exactly? Are they on the recreation field or the Parkston side?
Recreation field. They're on the land that we lease from the Borough Council.
So were we not talking about giving that back to the borough?
That's what
Giving that
Yeah,
back
that's what we're going to talk about in confidential session. So
if we give it back, we won't need to
Well, we've not discussed that yet.
No, but if we do give it back.
But that's part of the confidential discussion. Oh, we're working out.
Well, we have talked about it previously.
It's a secret from us.
Is it?
Well, it is, yeah, because it's to discuss how we approach that and the way forward with that area of land. There's other things to do with it, so it's commercial as well as anything else. Okay, can I ask that we defer that to put it with the Croker lease? Can I have a second? All those in favour? Thank you. 11 to discuss chain of office. Can I make a proposal of this one? I know we've got sort of all sorts of views on this. Can I ask that we defer this? It's not of pressing importance in this moment in time.
I'll make you a badge.
What, sorry?
I'll make you a badge.
You make a badge. Well, if you get look like the sort of little plastic ones that clip on them.
Can I make a proposal? I just want to say this. The proposal is that we defer this to the budget because there's a substantial amount of money in that. And my feeling is, and it's only a feeling, is that people will probably not want to go ahead with this. And it's something, it's already in reserve anyway, so it's something we can discuss at the budget, whether we carry on with the chair's office or use that money elsewhere. So the proposal is we defer this to the budget.
And that money will then come into play when we're discussing the budget. We're not going to purchase anything at this moment in time to allay people's fears that we're going to rush out of a Fattorini designed state-of-the-art chain of office for me. So if people, I mean, go on, Joe, you can.
Sorry, no, I was going to say that at the first meeting I proposed that we scrap it and return the money to general funds, and then we agreed to defer it to this meeting. Shall we just do it at this meeting? I mean, again, I'll propose that we scrap the funds.
I've said all along, I think using taxpayers' money to buy mobiles for a chairman, irrespective of who the chairman is, I think it's irrespective of the chairman, I think it's a complete and utter waste of taxpayers' money.
Can I just, before we go on any further, I'll withdraw my proposal to defer.
I'll withdraw mine.
I'll just make one other item. This is only my personal point of view, I still think that as a parish council that's been in existence 1894, that we probably alone in parish council be that long, have no sort of chain or whatever office for the. So I still think we should have one, but I will go along with the majority feeling, but I will attempt to raise sponsorship money from elsewhere to actually try and get that sorted out. I'm not talking about a big thing like that, but I think when chairmen go to meetings and things like that, you all see that they have a chain of office, and I think this village has got a proud history of what it's produced. If you look at the Stoke Grounds of Parliament and stuff like that, it's farming history, St James's Church, and I think we should have something that signifies the village's past and how long we've had a parish council. So I will take it on my own back to try and raise sponsorship. I'll try and take it on my own back to raise sponsorship without using any money from the parish council, if councils want to spend that money in other ways. But I would like us to use it for ways that are going to be benefited, not just it on other things, such as microphones. I think we should use it wisely, but I said I will go down the route of trying to raise private sponsorship for that, because I still think we should have something that celebrates the history of the village, and I don't think we've got that. That's only my personal feeling.
Can I reply to your
Yes.
comment, please, Clyde? I would think, this is just a guess, that 90% of
Can you use
people in this
microphone?
village couldn't care less, and it's their money. It's their money that you're spending.
I'm not spending it, I just said I intend to raise it by private
Well,
sponsorship.
yes, fair enough, but not public, couldn't it?
I was here for 8 years, and I attended a lot of things on behalf of this village. And people do say, where are you from? Because there was nothing to say where I came from. No, you can see from different parishes. And it's not a matter of personal bauble like the chairman, it's a part of it. It's a part of it. It is not a personal bauble for the chairman, it's a badge that belongs to the parish, and it's used to show people where you come from. And and how much have we got in the fund?
We have got a lot.
Well, since I was chairman, the chairman's at £400 or £500. The money that was the chairman's allowance was never touched, it was put into that for that purpose. If you don't want to use it for that purpose, that's fair enough. But I just want to point out to you that if you go on a public official thing, it's like going in naked.
Chairman.
On that
That
would be I think we've obviously got a difference of opinion here. I agree with John, and I think we should have something that signifies the office of the chairman of the parish council. I mean, I would like us to be seen as a new parish council in that respect, that we put all the sort of past happenings behind us, and when we go to meetings we don't be asked by people, you're the ones that do this, do that and the other. But I said, if people want to go down that route, I'm seeing hands in the air and shaking their head, I don't know which way they're thinking, but I'm quite happy for them to take that money out of there and use it whatever. As I said, personally I will try and raise sponsorship from elsewhere to get a chair of office.
I'm in support of getting personal sponsorship. As I say, I don't think it's right that we should spend public money on that item, but I'm quite happy to back you on the private sponsorship. Just as a side note, I've been to probably more outside meetings than most people, and whenever it says where you're from, I just tell them I don't need anything to say, any badges to tell where I'm from. It's an unnecessary use of public money, I think.
The way we make it, can I just make one last comment? At the moment, you don't, I go to meetings and I try not to tell people where I'm from, and then when they find out, they say, oh, you're the one whose video we've been looking on the YouTube and whatever, and I want us to be seen as a better council, and that we've got to move forward. So, as I say, I'm quite happy for somebody to propose that we...
The chain of office is not going to give you a better image, Clyde, is it? It's just reputation, and you've got to prove
We're just going to disagree on this one, Christine. I'm going to... Right, one person talked once about getting rid of it, so who's spoken? Who's not spoken?
Sorry.
Drew? Jonathan?
I just want to support you that we do need a good corporate image, and that's something we do need. But if you get from sponsorship, it's ideal. Maybe not from public funds, but if you pursue that side.
Well, I've had this look at this several years since to try and pursue it with people's families in the village who've been here a long time and contributed towards it. So I've got my own ideas.
Well,
now for that. So
47 years and
I'll go down that route separately, and if, as I said, people are willing to to take that money out of that fund and use it elsewhere, then if we've got a proposal in the second for that. Proposal. So can we just read it?
I was going to finish off just saying that we need to be more look professional with our eyes, and that's one step towards it.
Right, then can I just recap that? Yeah. So the proposal is the budget heading for Chairman's Chain is scrapped, but what was it that you said?
necessarily the notion.
Not necessarily the notion of the change, but the actual it coming out of the precept or budget is scrapped. Can I have a second? Proposed and second, right, can I have a vote on it?
Could I just ask you, Clive, would you need consent of the council to actually wear it? You would be representing the council.
No, if whoever's the chairman represents the council on official business, then they don't need permission of the council to wear it. I was at Dinnington High School last night, and the chairman of Dinnington Town Council turned up wearing their chain of office, and he was present at that. So
the answer to that question, would you need the permission of councillors? Is no. Well, you wouldn't have mine, so just
I don't need it.
mine.
I believe the permission will be given when you voted in as chairman. That's
that's not what I voted as chairman. That's to wear it. If they don't want to wear it, then that's fine.
I'm quite sure
If we've got one.
I'm quite sure they went down the route and got one, and I'm quite sure they probably brought back to council for approval. Well, no, it's privately funded, it's not a drain.
I don't care where it's from, I think it's pretentious.
Well,
it's smooth talk.
I think we've probably got a... Yeah, can we move on then, please? Can I go to item 3 then to discuss the awards evening?
Can I propose that the money that we save from the chain we put towards the awards evening?
No.
If we go ahead with it.
Sorry, do you mind if I just briefly interject? Was that motion carried or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you explain what the awards evening